Welcome back to Northwest City Politics in the Know with Juanita. Thank you for joining us again this week. We're glad that you're out there. We're glad there are people like you that are interested in the issues that are happening in the cities and Northwest Community Television's viewing area. It's important for good government for there to be a back and forth of information between the staff in the city council and the mayor, and the people that live in the city. So we're glad you're interested. If you haven't watched our show before, each week we'll have somebody on from one of the 9 cities in our viewing area that'll talk about what are the current issues going on in that city. And if you live in that city, be sure to write down their name, their email, and their phone number, so if it's an issue that really concerns you, you can get back to them. And from time to time we'll have areas that affect all of our cities. So we're glad that you're with us tonight. And we're very happy tonight to welcome to our program John Elder, who's on the New Hope City Council. That's my city council. So we're very glad to have you with us as a return guest.
Thank you very much, Juanita.
We appreciate people taking the time to share what's happening in the cities with all of our audience out there.
It's important to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. And so I will ask you, because there's probably some people out there that don't know you from the other cities, to just give a little background information about yourself and your time in New Hope and on the council.
You bet. In 2008, we had a council member move out of the city. So Steve Summers, resigned from the council, and I went through an interview process along with 9 other individuals, vying for this spot. So I'm currently the public information officer for the Minneapolis Police Department. I'm married, have 3 adult children, and we've lived in New Hope since 1988.
So you've seen a lot of changes happening in our city.
Absolutely. I used to be a police officer for the city of New Hope. So it's very near and dear to my heart. In the early 1900s, New Hope was the area, which is now known as New Hope, was a large farming area, as was most of our areas.
Right.
In 1936, there was a tip called Crystal Lake.
Okay.
And in 1936, they wanted to become an actual incorporated city. And there were a number of people, a number of the farmers that did not want to do that. So they basically seceded from the township of Crystal Lake. Those farmers at the time went off and became their own township.
Okay.
And they called it the Township of New Hope. And it was a new hope away from what they had with the city of Crystal. In the early 1950s, they ended up with the same fate that the township of Crystal or the city of Crystal did, and they went to become an incorporated city.
Now, New Hope's boundaries got determined by farmers, right?
Correct.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit of how that process worked on all the different sides of the city.
You bet. There were certain farmers that had plots of land that did not want to come over to the New Hope.
Okay.
And so they seceded, they stayed with the city of Crystal. Our boundaries on the north side is 62nd Avenue North. Our south boundary is Medicine Lake Road, and our west boundary is what used to be County Road 18, I'm dating myself, which is now Highway 169. The east boundary is where it gets very jagged. Some places it's Louisiana Avenue, which is really our furthest boundary out, but in some areas it's Winnetka.
Yeah, it kind of goes zigzag all over.
It does, and so that's why it is so convoluted.
Because different farmers decided to be.
Yes.
Some wanted to be in Crystal and some wanted to be in the township, right?
Absolutely.
Well, now we'll start out with an update about the Hy-Vee project that's going on. It's in the city center area for New Hope. And maybe you can give just a little bit of background information how it came about.
You bet. Kmart was at that location.
Right.
And Kmart decided it was going to go out of business, and so the city purchased that property. The city purchased it not with the idea that we would make money off of it. We bought it so that we would be able to control what type of redevelopment went there. And we put it out to developers, and 3 different projects were brought to us. 9 developers looked at it, 3 came and gave proposals. And we had all sorts of different ideas. We had a large workout facility through one of the major competitors to Lifetime. I can't think which one it is now. We had a big office and housing area. And we had Anderson Companies brought to us the Hy-Vee idea. And very, very interesting. The entire time that I have been on council, and any time I go out and I canvass or I speak with people, people want a grocery store. They absolutely positively had wanted a grocery store of their own. There's a grocery store in Plymouth. There's one right across in Crystal. But people want their own store. And this was wonderful because we're able to deliver that to them.
Yeah, and it was like a matter of timing, right?
Absolutely.
The recession over, kind of building.
You bet.
And Hy-Vee looking at the same time that you were looking, the city was looking.
Hy-Vee stated that they had gone and looked at a number of different cities and really wanted New Hope to be their first opening. And it had to do with area, it had to do with the demographics of the city, it had to do with the ease in which they felt they could work with the city and with the council. And we were able to deliver that to them. And so it was wonderful to see them be able to come in and bring this. And boy, we get a lot of positive feedback and a lot of excitement over it.
Oh, right, there has been. Now, there's construction going on, and as you drive by, you can see things taking shape. But maybe you can give us a current status of what's behind what you can see.
You bet. They've constructed the shell of the building at this point, and now they're doing the interior walls. They're partitioning off for the pharmacy, for the liquor store, for the deli and cheese area. And so all of that is happening to come underway right now. They will soon be starting the construction of the gas station and convenience store, and that should be opening, or that should be finished mid-July, early August. And the interior of the store is saying will be done approximately the same time.
So it's getting much, much closer.
It is. However, Hy-Vee has the theory that the working principle that they will not open until everyone is completely trained. They do not want to open their doors and have you go in and ask somebody a question and have them go, I don't know, I'm new here. So they will spend 3 months being fully ready to go and be able to use that time to train their employees so that when you come in, you will be able to have a smile in every aisle.
No, and they were contacting like the local schools to give students employment, right?
Great outreach. And that's one of the things that really drew me to Hy-Vee was the fact that they are such strong corporate citizens. They are, they want to be a part of the community. They're very, very generous in their donations to things. They want to be involved with things. They really are. I think they're going to be a great addition to the New Hope community.
And then their employees have some ownership stake in the store too, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's an employee-owned business. So
kind of should be a win-win all the way around, right?
It is. We had some dissenting viewpoints from the unions. But we can't, as a city, decide if a business that comes into town is going to be union or not. So this really seems to be a fantastic thing for the city. The citizens are extremely upbeat and very positive about it, and I think it's going to be neat to have. So
and people can keep their eye on it and figure maybe sometime in the fall. Did you give an anticipated?
I didn't. They're hoping around September 15th.
But then, depending on how things go, you never know, right?
You bet.
Now, I got to stop and think. The southeast corner of that site, there is plans for another small business area that would be part of the overall complex.
Correct.
And there's some forward movement on that.
There certainly is, and that's exciting news. We have a permit in process right now for that to become a medical office complex to be owned and operated by North Memorial. And say Golden Valley has their North Memorial Clinic, Golden Valley. This would be the North Memorial Clinic, New Hope. It's just a really well-run medical facility, and it ties in directly to the hospital where people would likely go to if they had an emergency, certainly from this area. It's going to be a great addition to that area and to the community.
Oh, right, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
And so, because at first they were given like a period of 3 years to end up with something there, it's going to be there right from the start.
Yes, yes, or shortly thereafter. Yeah, it's going to be very, very close. So we're excited about that, and as I said, it's something that benefits the community, and it's something that we will be able to collect taxes on.
Right. Are there other medical facilities in New Hope? I don't know.
I'm unaware of any.
And then,
other than the Minute clinics at CVS.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah,
that
they
sort
all
of a
have
deal.
that. Right.
And North Clinic will also be operating a walk-in clinic at the Hy-Vee Center.
Oh.
At the actual Hy-Vee grocery store, the Minute Clinic type of a thing. So that'll be, again, another benefit for citizens.
And then now, as things are moving along, what kind of feedback are people giving you, or what are you hearing from?
Yeah. The biggest call that I get from citizens on this is, when's it going to open? When can we expect it? There's really, it's fun because it's created a buzz.
Right.
And it's created a lot of anticipation. And so it'll be fun as a councilman to be able to see this finally come to fruition and open up, and to see people really utilize it.
And that was like the first stage of your city center process.
Correct.
So what would be some of the future steps that will be happening after this gets all underway?
Well, a real big thing that we're looking at is the streetscape that's going to be happening.
We'll take some time to go into details.
That's going to be happening on
right.
Xylon. And the city staff is also working with developers on what the rest of that super block is going to look like. And does it mean we'll be redoing a city hall? What does all of this look like in that area, as well as possible additional redevelopment in that larger area?
And we'll move on to a completely different area, is that New Hope is in the process, or I guess mid-process, of outsourcing their IT area.
Yeah.
And I thought we should talk a little bit about it. First, what are some of the reasons New Hope decided to do this?
Well, I was the one that pushed it.
Okay.
And I brought
then
this.
You're the right person to talk about.
I brought this forward at about a year ago. And I could see where we had one IT person, one full-time IT coordinator, and we needed more. You're looking at the demands of resources on IT that we were having.
Right.
There are so many things that we could and should have been doing, but one person couldn't do it all. So we looked at bringing on a second IT person, which made perfect sense.
Sure.
However, the question is, if you bring in a second person, and that person is very knowledgeable, and the first person's very knowledgeable, are they going to have the entire gamut covered? And the answer to that is no.
Oh, there's so many changes that are happening right
Absolutely. You know, you get your iPhone, and you know, as soon as you get it, it's almost outdated. So you need to have a team of people that you can draw from. And we found, we put this out to a number of companies who, via a request for proposal process, several came back to us, gave us bids, and we ended up getting a company that has a really deep bench as far as really having the entire gamut covered. And it was really nice to be able to pull them in. There's also a substantial savings. We had $214,000 budgeted for the 2015 IT expenditures. And we're doing that for about half of that.
Oh, that's a big change.
Yeah. And we know that if you have an IT person and you want them to be the jack of all trades in IT, they're always going to be at training, and they're not going to be there working for you. So we went with this company, and we will be moving forward with them. And you call, they triage what your concern is, and a lot of stuff they can do from where they're at.
Right. Nowadays, right.
Working remotely through that. Otherwise, they're able to go ahead and zip right out. They're located in Bloomington. That's the company name is Solution Builders.
Okay.
And dependent upon what our problem is, that particular subject matter expert from their company is the one that comes out to us. So it's really, really helpful to be able to have, again, a subject matter expert be able to come out to take care of our problems. It'll save time, it'll save cost, and it'll save frustration on the behalf of our employees. Additionally, we're able to do the things with our police department. Our police department is an incredible user of the IT services, all the equipment in their squad cars, all of the stuff that you're able to get through investigations. So we're really excited about this transition. So
they're hired and they're on board now, or you're
correct.
Okay.
They started we approved it on April 27th at our council meeting, and May 1st, Solution Builders signed on for a 1-year contract, and we're going to see how it goes.
Right.
But as I said, I'm very excited. I think it's going to be something that the employees have wanted to see. I think it's not only serving our employees very, very well, it really is the right thing to do, keeping in mind that we're the stewards of the citizens' money.
Right.
And so that's a really big deal for us.
So it's kind of a behind-the-scenes thing that people don't see, but it does affect the service that you give.
Yeah.
The Xylon Streetscape.
Yeah.
Now that's the road that runs alongside the west side of Hy-Vee.
Correct.
And maybe you can tell us a little bit about the kinds of proposals that the City Council looked at first. Because that's what you were doing a few months back, right?
Help me understand that.
Oh, okay, because you had put together 3-4 different ideas
Streetscape
of what
proposals.
the streetscape
You
proposals,
bet. Absolutely.
right?
Thank you very much.
Right.
Yeah, boy, we had the real range of it. We had the Lexus version of what that streetscape could be, and we had the Kia version. Or the Geo Metro version of it, which was absolutely bare bones. And we hosted an open house at City Hall that was very well attended. And we got a lot of feedback from citizens. That's something that this city and this council is really, really dedicated to, and that's getting feedback. And I love to hear what people have to say, even if it goes against what my thoughts are. Because people can educate me as well.
Oh, definitely.
And so we had this big open house. I was there for the event, and heard a lot of things from a lot of different people. And really, the overwhelming thing that I heard from people was, "Hey, you know what? This is our one shot. Let's do this right. Let's not be foolish. Don't be wasteful with my money." I remember some wonderful little old woman shaking her finger in my face going, "Don't be foolish with my money, but do this right." And I think we did. I think what we agreed upon is going to be exactly that. It helps create a walkable, friendly, and inviting atmosphere for people to come to that area. You look at when Golden Valley redid their area around Winnetka and Golden Valley Road. You looked at that and you went, you know what, that's very inviting. That's very friendly. That's very hometownish. And I think we met that. And that's what people kept referring back to as we spoke. And I think between Stantec, our architects, our community development people, and this council, I think we made it.
So what kinds of things will people see when it takes shape?
Well, you will see a nice entry sign, LED entry sign that will really tell you you're there. There's the streetscape. There's instead of having painted on crosswalks, you will have stamped cement, which really makes it far classier looking. There's going to be banners on the light poles. We have LED lighting there, which is far from the harsh glare of the pressurized sodium lights that you normally see. There's retractable bollards so that we can block off Xylon between the entrance of Wells Fargo
Okay.
all the way down to the entrance of City Hall. And that whole area can be used for the farmers market, which
sure.
I think we may discuss later.
Right, we will.
Or any other community event. We could have a street dance there. There's a number of things that we could actually do there.
Right.
So the lighting, the banners, the bollards, the new cement, they're gonna slender the street down some and have larger walkways on each side. There's all new landscaping between the roadway, or the walkway, and Hy-Vee that Hy-Vee is paying for. So it's a whole new look to the area.
Okay.
And again, it's meant to be very, very inviting.
Right. And then kind of focus that, okay, now you're in the major area where people can shop.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things that we look at this, we say, okay, well, here's all the stuff aesthetically that we see.
Right.
What people don't see is the complete reconstruction of the infrastructure down below.
Oh, right.
And going from a 9-inch ductile cast piping down to a 16-inch PVC piping, made to last much, much longer, will handle twice the amount of water coming through. The citizens benefit largely from that.
And that's what's underway right now. Because anybody driving down 42nd now will see a sign that says Xylon's closed.
Yeah, you're not heading north on Xylon.
Right.
So
what kinds of work is happening right now?
They're redoing,
or starting to happen.
Yeah, they're redoing all of the water pipes, all the sewer lines, and they are burying all of the electrical. And we had a huge storm last year where we ended up having to close the market.
Yes.
And because wires were down all over. And so we're going to be burying all those wires. Again, it's for aesthetics, it's for safety, it's to really make it an updated and a better area.
And then to highlight for people that might be driving in that area, kind of what is the detour and how do you get to places with this road closed?
That's a great question. The city website has a link on it.
Okay.
The www.ci.new-hope.mn.us.
Right, and we've got that up. We've
Perfect.
got that listed.
There's an actual link to it that will explain to you what's going on and give you the detours at that time, because at this point, Xylon is shut down north of 42nd. Right. You can't even turn, you can't go to the bank.
Right.
Unless you go down to Winnetka, go north on Winnetka to 45th, come back west on 45th, so that you can come back to Xylon again and you can come down all the way to the bank. At some point that will change.
Okay.
And they will then block off southbound Xylon at City Hall and open it up up to the south. And then 45th will be closed.
Okay.
So we have a whole series of different different detours, and we are building additional temporary roads to allow police and fire to get out quickly. Fire doesn't need it; they have their own exterior back exit, but the police department doesn't. So they will be building through the park or through the civic center area an actual temporary road to get squads in and out of there.
So what is the timeline for the completion of all this streetscape road work?
The majority of it will be done early fall, with some final touches being done in the fall, and then it'll be done.
So people should just keep, if they're using that area, go on the city website, and then they can see what's happening.
Absolutely.
Or otherwise watch the signs carefully.
Yeah, absolutely watch the signs carefully. It's, we have crashes because of detours at any given location. It's it's unfortunate. It's something that people just need to slow down, take their time.
Right. Now let's move on to a very popular event, the New Hope Farmers Market. And the important thing for people to know is, where will they find it this year? Because there's a lot of people that enjoy it.
Oh boy, thank you. That's very, very true. I'm amazed at the number of people that have reached out to say, where's it going to be? We will be at St. Joe's Parish,
Okay.
St. Joe's Church on 36th and Boone.
All right.
You have the very large parking lot right outside of
Yeah,
the
they
front,
do.
and there's another smaller parking lot up top, and that's where we're going to be, is up top.
Okay.
We will have about 80 vendors, depending upon how we mark it off and
Right.
cordon it off. Really nice thing is there's green space. There's area. There's shade. Kmart lot was wonderful for a lot of years.
Right.
However, there was no shade. There
That's
was
true.
no warmth. It was
Yeah.
very stark.
Yeah, you're sitting in the middle of a parking lot.
Yeah,
Right, yes.
and this has trees. This has shade. It just seems to be a far more quaint environment, and it allows us to give a great deal of a community feel. This is our 7th season,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
we have 3 of our board members, Chris Fry, Art Field, and myself, who are the founding board members who still remain on the board right now. We kick off the market this year on June 20th.
Okay.
And our last market for the year will be October 3rd. We go 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. until Labor Day. And then on Labor Day, we go to 9 p.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
And that's so that we can continue to set up when it's light out. We didn't like setting up so much in the dark.
Yeah.
But it's, again, we're very excited about another year of this.
And there's different special activities that happen over the summer too. Can you mention some of what people could watch for?
You bet. We have a car show, an
Okay.
antique car show. We'll have a health and wellness day. We have a family day. And those are just 3 of the ones that I can think of off the top of my head.
Right.
I know there's a couple of more, but those are really things that there'll be a public safety day. We'll have the fire department there, the police department there.
Sure.
We'll have a fire trailer there. So there's a lot of neat things we'll be able to do with the market, even being in this new location. Question is, where is it next year?
Right.
Do we remain at St. Joe's? They have been so gracious and so wonderful to us, and it really fits into their missions and goals and values to do community outreach. And St. Joe's has been phenomenal to work with and to offer us that space. Do we go back to Xylon, where we have the retractable bollards, where we're able to really utilize that space with canopies and, so we don't know.
Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing all your thoughts and ideas with our audience out there. They know a lot more what's happening in New Hope.
Good.
And we'll encourage those of you out there to tune in next week for part 2 of New Hope's issues. And if it's an issue that really concerned you and you live in New Hope, be sure to take time to be in contact with John Elder. And if it's an issue that is in another city, find out what your city's doing and then follow up on it. Thank you for being with us, and join us again next week. Bye.